What's up, everybody? This is Super here with my very first episode of my podcast. And you know what my podcast is called? It's called That's So Supa, because I be acting some type of way, like I act dumb, I act silly, I laugh, I do all kinds of things. Like, I mean, if you guys are watching, some people that I hang out with and my friends and whatnot, they know how I act. So every time I do something or say something, they always say, "That's so super." And we doing our first episode. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to start this podcast with you guys. I appreciate you guys coming through. If you guys are listening, hope you guys enjoy, because I'm gonna try my best to enjoy myself. I mean, that didn't sound right, but I'll try and enjoy myself, right? So we're gonna get right into it. But this first episode is called "This Is Me," because I wanted to start off this podcast to show you guys or tell you guys who I am as a person, as a hopefully your next friend. I don't know. We'll see, right? But yeah, I wanted to tell you guys about myself before we get things rolling. That way you guys get a better idea of the person that you're listening to. I don't know. That's just me. I like to get to know people before I affiliate myself with them. Or we become friends or whatnot, whatever. I like to get to know the person. I like to get to know the people that I'm around. Just because it's, I don't know. I'm a very sociable person. I'm a very, I guess, you know what my family and my friends like to say. I'm a very emotional person. I get connected really, really, really strong, I guess I should say. I really get connected into the relationship, whether it be friendships or relationships with my family or whoever it may be, acquaintances, like even acquaintances. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Even acquaintances?
Like, I take that serious. I don't know. I don't like to burn any bridges. But yeah, man, this is me. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. And looking forward to this whole journey of this podcast this podcast journey with you guys. So without further ado, guys, we're gonna get it going. All right, we're gonna get it going. All right. So where do we start? So obviously you guys can see Supa. The title's called That's So Supa. So that's my name. That's not my name.
But
I mean, it'd be cool if that was my name, right? But Supa comes from Supastar. And that is my that is like my gamer tag, my handle, that's on my social medias and whatnot. And it was just made up from my actual name. I came up with Supastar for all my social handles, for my gaming, my Twitch, my streaming platform, my YouTube page, because it came from my name. So fun fact, my actual name is Star. My first name is Star. And a lot of people think it's cool. A lot of people think it's like the coolest name ever. Every time I tell some new person that's my name, they're like, "What? That's your name?" Or, "Yo, that's a really cool name." Or the other thing that I always get, right, is, "That's a weird name for a guy." And I'm like, yeah, I know that. I know. You don't gotta tell me twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever, right? And they're like, "I've only met females that has the name Star." I'm like, "I know. I've met other females with Star. But it's okay. That's what my parents named me, and that's what I'm going to go with. I have to, because it's on my birth certificate, right?" But yeah. So, fun fact, right? That's actually what started my siblings' name. So, I'm the oldest of 5. Let me tell you a little bit about my background, my culture real quick before I tell you about my siblings. So, I am a Pacific Islander. My native tongue, my native culture is Samoan. If you guys don't know what Samoan is, or Samoa, we come from the island of American Samoa, which is a U.S. territory. But yes, I'm Samoan by blood, but I was born and raised in Hawaii, in the beautiful islands of Hawaii. I was born over there and raised over there. My parents is from Samoa, then they moved to Hawaii. And that's where I was born and raised. That's where my siblings, all my cousins and whatnot. And yeah, the rest of my family was born. I always get mistaken for Hawaiian. And just to give you guys a little history, a lot of people get confused of the Pacific Islands. I don't know why. I mean, I think because Hawaii is another state. And, the first thing you think about is Hawaiians, because that's the indigenous people from Hawaii, which makes sense, right? So immediately I get asked, "Oh, you're from Hawaii, so are you Hawaiian?" No, I'm not Hawaiian, and I don't take offense to it because I was raised there. I embrace the culture because the culture is very similar to my culture in on my island where my heritage is from. But it also is the same. Majority of it around the whole islands, all the different islands in the Pacific Ocean, is most likely the same. We were brought up the same. We have the same beliefs. We have same practices. We have like, if not the same practices or beliefs or whatever, is similar, very similar. But yeah, so I'm Samoan, born and raised in Hawaii. I am the oldest of 5 kids from my 2 parents. And that's how my siblings' names came about. So obviously my name is Star. And my sister after me is Diamond. My brother after her is Sky. Brother after him, Storm. My brother after him is Rain. So that's how all 5 of us got our names. Well, they just randomly made my name Star. Actually, they named me after my uncle, which his name is Star, but it's in our native tongue. So his name is Fetu, which means star in English. So I just took the English version, and then that's how my siblings got their names. And cool thing, last year we actually just got a tattoo, a sibling tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a star for me. There's a diamond for my sister Diamond. There's a cloud for my brother Sky. Lightning bolt for Storm, and then a little raindrop for Rain. So that's, we all have our own. We all have this on our wrist, on our right wrist, and our own shape is colored in because that's us. That's me. So obviously the star is colored in because that's me. My sister is colored in, my brothers, and so forth. You know, we're pretty tight knit family. You know, we're pretty tight knit. A lot of Pacific Islanders, cultures and families and whatnot. They cherish family. Family is literally everything. It's very uncommon that you see Pacific Island family that's not close. Yeah, you know, we're pretty close. We grew up together. We didn't come from much. You know, we didn't come from much. We always lived with, what is that, 5, 6, 7, 7 of us in the house. I think the biggest house that we ever had was 3 bedrooms. My parents had their own. My sister had her own, and then all 3 of us brothers, we shared a room. Most of the time, I slept outside. I slept outside in the living room, on the couch, or on the floor, and watched TV. I was a night owl. I still am a night owl. I'm recording this at 1 a.m. So it goes to show that I'm a night owl. So I like to watch TV all night, and while everybody goes to sleep or whatever, and I just fall asleep whenever. Wake up for school the next day. But yeah, man, we didn't come from much, but my parents did work very, very hard. As I know, a lot of Pacific Islanders work very hard, mainly because it's if they're not living in their indigenous island that they came from, I guess you could say, they most cases they move to Hawaii. Hawaii is obviously the closest to being in the United States because it's a state and it's the closest to the other islands, right? Put it this way: from going to Samoa to Hawaii is 5-hour flight. Hawaii to California is another 5-6 hour flight. So from Samoa all the way to California just to get to the actual homeland, the United States of America. What is that? Let's go 11 to 12 hour flights. You know what I'm saying? So. And that costs a lot of money, and it costs a lot of money just to go to Hawaii. And a lot of you guys that are listening, you guys are probably from the islands. You guys know. So most of them moved to Hawaii, and Hawaii is a very, very freaking expensive. The cost of living is so high. The minimum wage is way too low to accommodate the cost of living. It just doesn't match up. But that's just the way it is. So. Families work 2 to 3 jobs. My grandpa, when they moved over to Hawaii, my grandpa worked 4 jobs. And it makes sense why he worked 4 jobs, because my grandma didn't work any job at all. But the reason why is because they had 8 kids. So she obviously had to take care of the kids. And my grandpa had to work to, put food on the table, roof over their heads and whatnot. And That's where some of the work ethic comes from my family, at least from my parents. My parents worked their butts off. My mom worked a couple of jobs at one point. My dad, I don't think my dad's ever had a single job in his life. So my dad has always worked two jobs, a minimum of two jobs. And even when he had his two jobs, he'll had a like a side gig, like working a bouncer or working security at a dealership overnight. So yeah, we didn't come from much, but we had each other, we had our family, and family, like I said earlier, family is everything. I would literally do anything for my family. I don't care where I am. I don't care how old I am. I don't care if I don't got money or whatever. That's just me. I will do anything. I'll find a way, and that's how I treat my friends. I see my friends. I build that relationship. I build that foundation, that bond between friends and acquaintances. And I do my best. I go out of my way to make sure I can figure out a way to help them out. Whether it be money wise, support wise, ear to listen, go and help them move, move furniture, whatever it is. I do my best. I go out there and I treat them like family because they're my family. My friends is my family. But that's majority of how I grew up. I always grew up being around people. I'm such a people person. I don't know what I would do if it was just me. If it was just me, like that movie, right? That movie I Am Legend. It's just you. Granted, he had a dog. Dog helped out a lot, but imagine if it was just him. Like that's crazy. I'll go crazy, like for real. But um, where I grew up on the island of Oahu. If you guys don't know where the island of Oahu is, it is, I guess you could say, it's the main island of Hawaii and the nine islands. It's where the city of Honolulu is, where our capital is. That's the island that Honolulu is on, where Waikiki, Honolulu, all that, all the main tourist places to go. That's where I grew up, and I like to tell people nowadays that Oahu is basically the city. It's basically the city of Hawaii. If you go to Big Island, Kauai, Maui, any other island, it is not even close to being like a city. But with everything now, construction now, and technology nowadays, the other islands are catching up. And I like to say that Kauai is the country. Kauai and Big Island is the country. Oahu is the city. And then you got Maui. Maui's is kind of getting up to that point where they have a lot of tourist things now. And just like Kauai, but Maui is more of that half and half. Like if you ask me, if you guys ever visit Hawaii, go to Maui, go to Kauai. I mean, unless you really like the nightlife, the city life, then yeah, go to Oahu, check it out. But every island, man, every island's great to go. But yeah, I grew up in a small little town called Kalihi in the island of Oahu. I went to school I went to a public school from preschool to elementary, and then when I hit the 5th grade, that's where my parents they sent me to not border school. I know when people say I sent my kid to, and it's always most likely going to be border school, right? But nah, they sent me to a private school. I went to a private Catholic school called St. Louis, Hawaii. Look it up because probably the best team in Hawaii, best football team in Hawaii. Don't come at me now. Don't come at me. I just very prideful. I'm very prideful. Like if you like the background, I have like a little St. Louis helmet on top of my little shelf over there. But yeah, I went to St. Louis from the 5th grade all the way to my senior year. I graduated from St. Louis. It was it is an all boy private Catholic school, and it was crazy, like how it came about, right? My mom had a dream that she sent her. Well, first she had a dream that her first kid was going to be a boy, which lo and behold, me came out. I'm a boy, obviously. I'm a guy, but her dream was she had a son first, and that she sent her son to St. Louis. And so that was her goal. She wanted to send her first kid and all of her kids to private schools because obviously they wanted us to have a better education. Not saying that public school, you can't get a good education there. It's just, I guess there's more opportunities at a private school, from what I know growing up, right? But that was the whole reason why my grandfather, both my grandparents, moved my dad's side and my mom's side over to Hawaii, so that they can get better school education and whatnot. And that's why my mom sent me to private school. And then later down the line, my sister went private school, my brother went private school, all my siblings went to private school. And that played a big part in why my parents was working their butts off, because one, they had to put food on the table. Two, they had to obviously have a roof over our heads, transportation and whatnot. But three, well, four, four, they had to send all of us to private school. And if you guys don't know, private school, you have to pay to go to a private school. It's just like going to college. You pay to go to college. Public school is paid by, obviously the government and whatnot. But private school, you got to pay to go to private school. And private schools in Hawaii, man, and I don't know what it is in the mainland, but private schools in Hawaii is freaking expensive. Like at the time that I was going to my private school, it was 14 grand. It was basically the same price as an in-state tuition at the University of Hawaii. Think about that for a second. And I went there for freaking 8 years, 5th grade to 12th, 8 freaking years. And it wasn't until my senior year I finally earned a full scholarship, full athletic scholarship. So, my whole tuition was paid for my senior year, so which helped out a lot. My sister got in, her first year with a full ride athletic scholarship. And then my brother got in for academic scholarship. However, I believe it wasn't like a full scholarship. I think it was. And then my other brother was in the same situation as me. He went to my private school. He didn't have a scholarship, so we had to do like the financial aid and stuff and whatnot or whatever. And then my last brother went to the private school where my sister and my other brother went to, and he was able to get a scholarship as well. So, yeah, it helped out a lot that, we got scholarships and whatnot, but, we still had balances. We still had things that, my parents had to pay. But, at the end of the day, we all had great education. I turned out well. I like to say I turned out well. You know what I mean? My siblings turned out well. That's for sure. I mean, I'm alive. I'm healthy. I'm not unhealthy. I don't got any, I don't know, diabetes or something, like, you know what I mean? I'm healthy. But since we're on the topic of school, man, like, I know school is not a topic that everybody wants to talk about, but just to get to know me a little bit more, I enjoyed math. That was my subject. I don't care what anybody says. And I didn't like English. I didn't like history. I didn't like anything that had to do with reading, writing. Yeah, all of that stuff, right? So math was my thing. And the biggest reason why my math was my thing was because math was like straightforward. Math was either right or wrong answer. You know what I mean? If you get the wrong answer, you just take a couple steps back, figure out what step that you went wrong or whatever got wrong, and then you get the right answer. Easy peasy. English, when you write an essay or whatever, like you can get dings for anything, and they all add up. You know what I mean? Like they all add up, and even when you do like the first draft, second draft, and then you do the final draft, you still get dings on the final draft, and it could affect your grade. So I was like, nah, this is not it. This is not it. But I really enjoyed math, and my other favorite class was physical education. Physical education, man. We get that education in the physical parts of my body. I know some people would probably say sex ed, but I mean, not sex ed. I mean, health class. That's what we called it. We called it health class. I know a lot of schools call it sex ed, but we called it health class. I mean, they're probably. You know what? I don't. I'm not gonna speak on any other school, but we didn't have sex ed. We just had a broad class called health class, health basically. So we learned everything that has to do with the health, drugs, the sexuality, all that stuff. You know what I mean? I did kind of enjoy science a little bit, but yeah, I'm just gonna like stop on that subject because you guys are probably getting bored about school. Some of my, high school, man. High school is probably one of your best times of your lives, but I do gotta say, college is probably your best time of your lives. But I did have a lot of fun experiences in high school. I had I tell you what, man. I've always I was never I was never single. I gotta say that that was just like I was such a good boy. I was such a good boy that I never drank, I never smoked cigarettes or weed or never did drugs. Never skipped school. Like I was such a goody two shoes or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I mainly because if you guys know, like I said earlier that I'm Samoan. If you guys know the Pacific Island culture, and I'm sure other cultures are kind of the same, but I was scared as shit. I was scared as shit. So I, if you guys have experience with some Samoans, Samoans are pretty huge. I'm the small Samoan in my whole family, my cousins, siblings, and whatnot. So yeah, I was pretty scared, man. My dad was 6'3", and he was bigger than what he is now. My mom was 5'11", and I had some pretty big parents with some pretty big hands. you know. Oh. So I was determined to get good grades. Mainly because I was afraid. I wanted to make my parents proud. I wanted to make sure that their money was well worth spent because I knew that they was paying for my school. At the same time, I knew I really loved to play sports, and so in order for me to play sports, right, I had to get good grades. So I was a tootie. Tootie. I was a goody two shoes. I never skipped class. I never, I fell asleep, a lot of times, but never skipped class. I was early and all that stuff, and never, drank, smoke, all that stuff. But the only, I guess, if you say this is like, if you want to say this is a bad thing, this is probably the only, I guess, bad thing that you could say that I did in high school was, yeah, I had a girlfriend. I've always had a girlfriend for like I've never been single. But I did lose my virginity at 8th grade. I'll say that. Every time after school was done, because I went to an all boys school, obviously my girlfriend didn't go to that school. I always made my way to go meet up with my girlfriend somewhere. When I told my parents or I told, somebody that I was gonna go hang out with my friends or whatever, or we went across the street to eat or whatever. But no, I caught the bus to my girlfriend's school at the time and hung out with her and caught the bus back. Barely made it on time for practice, but I was there. At nighttime, I would sneak out my house to go meet up with my girlfriend because I wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend, but that was the only times that I was able to meet up with her. So I thought I was such a bad boy for doing that. I don't know why. It's normal for people to have relationships, right? Even at I mean, maybe depends, right? Depends on how young the age is. Yeah, it's normal to be in a relationship with somebody else, with another person, right? So me sneaking out, me almost missing practice or being late or whatever. You know what? I actually even met up with some of my girlfriends before school, and I would freaking book it to school just to make it right on time. So I guess that was a worst thing that I did. Growing up was losing my virginity early, meeting up with my girlfriends whenever I had time and nobody knew. I guess my senior year, I did skip school one time because it was senior ditch day. Who in the world is not gonna go to your senior ditch day? Like, If you did not go to your senior ditch day, I'm pretty sure you were the only kid at school. You were the only kid at school looking dumb because you're in the classroom and you and your teacher are like, I'm pretty sure where everybody else is at. So us being in Hawaii, there's not much places we could go. So we were at the beach, we were at the mall, or we were at one of those two places. There was not much else places we could go. But so I did skip school. I did skip school one time in high school. College is another thing. I skipped a lot of school. One, because I was sick a lot. Two is because I played sick because I just didn't want to go to school. I was like, I don't have class till 3 days later, so I can go to the next class. It's all good. Talk about freaking laziness. I was pretty lazy because going to college, man, it's a lot, especially playing sports at a Division I school. It was a lot. Well, we're in college now. I went to college. I had the opportunity. You know, I had a few offers, full ride scholarships to go to University of Arizona, Wyoming, Colorado came in recruited, Boise State. I had a couple of big names. UW. UW is University of Washington Huskies. They brought me out for a visit. It was super fun, man. Super fun. But all of that fell through. You know, I wasn't able to. You know, I didn't go to those colleges, but I had a last minute offer to a school all the way down in Pennsylvania, literally across the country from Hawaii. So I went to school in Pennsylvania at a Division I school called St. Francis University, and I went there for like a year and a half, I think. And then I was supposed to transfer to Penn State, but I didn't want to transfer to Penn State because, long story short, they had a bunch of stuff going on over there, and I didn't want to be a part of all of that. So I transferred back home to Hawaii. I transferred to the University of Hawaii. I played on a bench. I played on a practice squad, University of Hawaii on the football team, and I was going to school there for a couple of years. And man, I got injured. You know, there went my freaking football career. I was an all-state, all-state football player in Hawaii from high school, and my dream was to play in the NFL. And so, I made it to the next level in college, in the collegiate level, playing football there. But injury kept coming. And long story short, I was young and dumb. So I started working on my free time when obviously I couldn't play. And I thought to myself, man, I'm freaking rich. We were a couple $100 check. You know what I mean? I'm over here like, bro, I got the loads of money. Thinking I had the loads of money because I had no freaking bills. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, the more I work, like if I work a couple hours here, there, the more money I get. Bro, so I started working more, and I was so tired to go to school and whatnot because if you don't know, man, going to Division I sports in college, it's like a freaking job. Going to college alone is like a job. And then you have a second job in playing sports, because here is the typical Division I schedule for football every day, right? So in the morning we had 5:30 workouts in the weight room. Then we had then we go straight to classes at 7:00, 7 all the way. We take all our classes all the way till like 1:30 ish, and then we have mandatory study hall. So all the football players go to a study hall where they have, I think, 4 or 5 tutors, and they help us do our homework and all that stuff, or do take home quizzes or whatever, whatever schoolwork that needs to be done. And then after that, we go straight to practice on the field with the coaches, with the team, for like 2.5 hours. And then after the practice is done, it's like 6-ish, 7. And then we have like a 2-hour grace time to where we could shower, go eat dinner and whatnot. Then we have to come back to the sports facility for a team meeting at 9:00. And then after the hour-long team meeting, we had like individual position meeting with our actual position coaches for like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just to kind of touch bases with you. And by that time, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then we got to go to bed because we got to wake up again tomorrow morning or the next day at 5 for 5:30 workout. So it's like you literally, your whole day for the whole year of the season, you are busy 20, well, how much days, how much hours in a day? 24 for what, 18 to 19 hours a day. You're busy. And then the rest of the time you're sleeping or eating, you know what I mean? So it was a lot. It was a cool experience though. That was my dream, man. My dream was to play in the NFL. A lot of Polynesians, Pacific Islanders, especially Samoans. I don't know what it was or what it was raising, Samoan kids or whatnot, but everybody wanted to be in the NFL. Everybody. And there's a whole nother generation that's how it is right now. Everybody wants to send their kids to the NFL. Nowadays, it's not like before. Nowadays, they want to either send their kids to the MLB for baseball, or they got some other Samoan kids playing in basketball, trying to make it in basketball. For the girls, it's volleyball. Oh, man, volleyball is like, that's like our freaking main. I'd probably say that's our main sport is volleyball. I don't know. You guys tell me, but football and volleyball is like the Samoan sport. I mean, a lot of people can argue that rugby is, but rugby, I leave that to the Maori people. But a lot of us Pacific Islanders love to play football, volleyball, rugby. That was just our freaking thing, Growing up, I don't know if you guys know, but growing up, we had this game where we call it, well, at least in Hawaii, we called it Smear the Queer. It was Smear the Queer. It was like whoever had the ball, what, football or whatever ball it was, that was the queer, and you had to smear them. You had to smear them was like another term of tackling them. So once you get tackled, you throw the ball, and then the next person, whoever catches it, they're the new queer. But that's just what we called it in Hawaii back in the days. I don't know what they call it in the mainland. It's I don't know, keep away. I don't know, but yeah, it was freaking Smear the Queer, tackling each other, which that's what you do in football. That's what you do in rugby. That's what you do in volleyball sometimes. No? I don't know. Is that just me? Do I tackle people in volleyball? But yeah, man. So, over the years, I'm an adult now. I am married with to my lovely wife, Marina. She was born and raised in Hawaii too. Her family is also from Samoa, but they moved over to Hawaii just like me. Met her in high school. Towards the end of our high school, I was gonna say career, our high school, I guess, life or whatever high school chapter of our lives, right? And yeah, now we live in Arizona. We're in Arizona. I joined the military. In the Air Force. I've been serving for a few years now. And yeah, we're living happily right now. We don't have any kids. We have a dog. We have a fur baby. His name is Thunder, and he's a brat. He's been a brat lately. Freaking bit me the freaking other day, and I'm like, bro, you want to bite me? You lucky I don't bite you back. Like my bite's gonna do anything, but I still bite him. Show him what it feels like to be bitten. You know what I mean? He never got bitten before by another dog because other dogs are scared of him. My dog Thunder, he's a mix between a German Shepherd and a Doberman. So you got two pretty aggressive breeds, but he's such a freaking sweetheart. He's a one day I called him a little wussy. I told my wife, look at these other dogs. Just look at their pictures. They just look aggressive. Our dog, he looks like a wussy. Oh man, I'm just messing. He's a good dog, smart dog. But that's what we're doing now. I'm in the military. I found a lot of other things that I love to do. I found a passion in cooking. I still have my passion in sports and football and whatnot. Which brought up a lot more dreams, you know, because growing up, that was going into the NFL was literally my only dream. My only dream. I wasn't like any the other kids. The other kids wanted to be, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be the next president. Not me. Not me. I wanted to be in the NFL. I wanted to play football for the rest of my life. Not saying I don't play it. I still throw the ball from time to time here and there, and you know, I feel like I'm playing, but because I don't have that opportunity anymore to play in the NFL, you know, I took it upon myself to like, I told myself I need to get back into the sport, and what was the next best thing that I could do to be involved with the sport. So before we moved out to Arizona, before I got into the military, I went back to my high school and I started coaching. And I coached the grades from grade 6 to ninth grade. We called it intermediate. A lot of high schools in the mainland now, they only have junior varsity and varsity. But in Hawaii, we have intermediate, junior varsity, and varsity. So 3 levels, right? So I coached the intermediate 6th to 9th graders, and I love coaching the 6th to 9th graders because they're at that stage, right? They're at that stage where they're still learning, but they're like kind of like almost molded into that player that they're most likely are going to be in the future. You know what I mean? So it's like the learning stage / molding stage, I guess. So it was a great place for me to be. You know, every time I talk about it, you know, I reminisce about some memories and whatnot, you know, coaching the kids and whatnot, the games that we played, the places that we went to, the practices that we had. And my wife brought it up, and she was like, you know what, hon? That was the happiest I've ever seen you. Like, I've never seen you enjoy something so much more than when you were coaching. And I was like, thinking about it, I was like, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. I really enjoyed it because I felt like I was actually playing the game. I felt like I was in the game with the kids, playing with them. I don't know. I had that little fire in me that was, you know, down, you know, kind of like when you turn the oven down, right? The fire goes lower, right? So my little flame was a little low, and the moment I started coaching, I just felt life back again in the sport, you know. And it was very exhilarating. It was very heartwarming for me, at least. Like I was pretty happy, man. And I'm not saying I'm not happy now. I know for sure that that's my calling, you know, coaching, giving back to whatever age it is that I coach, you know, giving back to what I learned. You know, I've had a lot of experience playing football throughout all these years. And, you know, I watch football almost every day. I talk about football almost every other day or whatever. I could talk football all day. Trust me. We could turn this into a football podcast, but we're not going to do that. Yeah. So I want to go back. I can't coach right now because I'm in the military. Military takes up a lot of time, and, you know, it's a lot of commitment that I have to do. If I do go coach, you know, I can't just go and, you know, half coach, you know what I mean? Coach 2 days of the week and then show up just to the game. And then it's like, I don't got that connection. You're not going to have that connection with the kids or whoever your players are. You know what I mean? So it's just different. But like I mentioned earlier, you know, I grew the love. I found the passion in cooking. I am the cook. I am the chef in the house. I like to experiment. I like to add flavors, add this, add that, taste to see if that works, if this works, or whatever. And I've gotten like a handful of my own little recipes that I tweaked into how I like it or whatever, what I think tastes good. And a lot of people tried most of my food, and a lot of people said I should do something with it. And I was thinking about it a lot. And when I get out the military, I'm going to go back and coach on top of going to start up like a food truck, food stand, whatever you want to call it. But basically just, you know, cook my own, my food and share that with people, because the food that I like to cook is basically from the islands, from the Pacific Islands. I have a mixture of Hawaiian foods, traditional Hawaiian food, non-traditional Hawaiian food. I have same thing, traditional and non-traditional Samoan foods, and then I have a little bit of experience in like Tongan foods, and so just different. I'm very varietary. Is that, if that's a word? You know, I'm making up my own word. Varietary type of cook. All around, I'm gonna say. Well, I don't want to say all around because I don't know how to cook Italian. I don't know how to cook. I don't know, Mexican. I do make some banging burgers though. I might end up just doing a burger, place or whatever it is. But that's my plan, man. That's my dream right now. Is go back coaching, no matter what age it is, no matter if it's a Pop Warner League or if it's a high school or even a middle school, whatever has a football program, I'm gonna be coaching, and then at the same time I'll be running my food truck, my food stand, because here's my plan, guys. So when I have the football games, it's usually on a weekend, right? So when we have our football games on the weekend, guess what I can have there at the games? My food truck, my food stand. So why don't I just kill one bird with two stones? Boom, bada boom, drop the mic. It's over. Great plan. The master plan is out. You guys know what I'm gonna do. And tell me not. That's perfect, right? Tell me not. Come on now. Come on. Yeah, man. So that's majority of my life, man. Me and my wife, we were living out here in Arizona. My wife's plan is to join the military. So we're switching spots. You know what I mean? I'm getting out when I get out, and then she's getting in. So she'll be making the bread, but it's okay. I'll be making the bread eventually, like more afterwards. When my food truck starts booming. And then I get offered a job and to be a NFL coach. I'm just speaking it into existence. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people say if you speak something into existence, most likely it'll come true. They don't say that exact words, but you know what I mean. It's like if you can see it, if you can believe it, then you can achieve it. Oh, subtly. Don't quote me on that because that's not my quote. But if you can see it and you believe it, then you can achieve it. I don't even think I said that right, but you guys get the point. Sheesh. But all of that, right, guys? All of that led up to this point where I'm at right now. My hobby, I call this a hobby. I'm a content creator. I'm a streamer. I'm a gamer. And now I guess I can call myself, I'm a podcaster. Let's go. Can we get some hype, baby? I mean, you guys can hype at yourself right there in your room, watching on your phone or on a computer. Hype it up, baby. But yeah, I'm a content creator, streamer, gamer. My socials, are right over there. If you guys are watching, if you're listening, I got my YouTube page. I got my TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitter. You guys can find it at Supastar _TV. And yeah, I post a lot of content. I post a lot of gaming clips. I post a lot of random content, and a lot of people ask me why, like, oh, why'd you get started? Like, what got you started? But long story short, my cousin, we were just playing games, playing video games, and my cousin was talking about a streamer, and I didn't know who it was, and he was showing me it, whatever, and he was like, bro, you should stream, bro, like, cause you're pretty funny, da da da. I think you would be a good entertainer or whatever. And I was like, bro, this was the first thing that came into my mind. Who is gonna watch me? Who is gonna listen to me? Yeah, I didn't think so. But he was like, you never know. Like, you play games every day anyway. So why not try and make a little bit of money? Why not try to make a quick buck by just doing what you do anyway? And he's not wrong. I've played games since I could remember. Since I could freaking, I don't know, poop in my freaking diaper. That's when I was playing games. So I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. And it was a great journey, man. It still is a good journey. I met so much people. I met some great people. I met some not so great people, but I give everybody a chance. But I made a lot of friendships. I made a lot of affiliations with people and whatnot. And it kind of just fit perfect for me. You know, it just fit perfect with the person that I was growing up. They called me Mr. Aloha because I was such a sociable person. I was such a people person. I always love to talk to people when I'm out and about or just walking at the mall or at the beach. And like, you know, most people, you know, like, if they don't know them, they don't really like spark the conversation or even want to have a conversation with somebody else. But me, I'm at the beach. I see somebody I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? How you doing? Have a good day today. Yes, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, we got some food, bro. You guys want to have some? You know what I mean? Like, it's just you got to spread that aloha. You know, we need more of that in the world. You know, spread love, not hate. Ooh, that's like the next. That's like a title for a podcast or a title of a song, bro. Spread love, not hate. I'm pretty sure it's a quote from somewhere, but I don't know where it's from. But you know what I mean? Like, it just fit perfect for me, you know, building my community in the streaming world, in the gaming world. And you know, one of my friends that I've met on streaming said it best for me. She was like, you know, your vibe, your aura, your personality just attracts people. And you know, I felt that, man. I felt that. I felt it because that's what I want to do. I want to be that person that people can trust. I want to be that person that people can call a friend. You know what I mean? That people know that I care about them. I'll show up when I can. You know what I mean? I'll be that friend. I'll be that family member or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, man, you spread love, not hate. Like, we need more love in this world, and I can only imagine this world without any hate. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I have a fun time streaming, gaming, and first I was only streaming and gaming, and then I got into content creating because I started off on Vine first. Vine went viral, you know, on Instagram and what is that, Tumblr and freaking MySpace. Like, you know, there was people making on YouTube, people making funny clips, relatable content and whatnot that it's just hilarious because it's like what people go through every day, like a joke or something that happens at home and they just make a joke out of it, and it's just so relatable that it's so funny. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, I went through that shit. I just did that the other day, or I did that growing up, or whatever it was. So I was so attracted to that I wanted to be that person to bring smiles, bring laughter to people's faces, to people's lives and whatnot. So I started making content like that. I started making funny clips, relatable clips. I got some ideas from other creators and stuff, but I started making content and I started integrating that with my streaming and my gaming, and my streaming became less of the competing in the games and more of the entertaining to the crowd, I guess you can say, the crowd or the content, you know, making that funny content, that entertaining content. So now, you know, I like to tell people I'm a variety streamer. I'm a variety content creator. If you go on my socials, like, yeah, there's a good chunk of gaming clips and whatnot, but there's a lot of just random content that's funny, relatable, or inspirational, or you know, some kind of motivational quote or whatever it is. I do talk about a lot about mental health awareness and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm a very variety man. I just want to spread the love, spread the laughter, spread the smiles, and that's kind of what I am right now. And I've always wanted to start this podcast, and I'm here. I'm doing it. What better way to start off this whole podcast, this journey, by telling you guys my journey up to this point, telling you guys who I am as a person, so that you guys know who you guys are listening to. So, with that being said, guys, that is the end of my very first podcast. If you guys have any tips or if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and leave a comment or whatever. Message me, DM me on any of my socials. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you didn't like it or whatnot. But I appreciate you guys. Follow my socials. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys hit those notification buttons for whenever I do post anything. Then you guys will get notified, and you guys don't miss out on anything that that gets posted. So without further ado, guys, I appreciate it. It was great. It was such a fun first show. Yeah, man, it was a great show. Much love to every single one of you guys. And I'll catch you guys next time. This is Supa here. We checking out, baby. We out.